Yo, we're coming at you live from Camp Wawanakwa, somewhere in Muskoka, Ontario. I'm your host, Chris McLean.
Good God. I had no idea how much of a hook this cartoon was going to have on me after that first iconic line. So here's the deal. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, or however long this video takes, we're taking a wild trip back to one of the most dramatic, chaotic, heartbreaking, heartwarming, and downright legendary shows to ever hit Cartoon Network. A staple to millions of childhoods all around the globe, Total Drama Island. Now, just like the campers, I'm here to face the challenges head on. I'll be competing against my own nostalgia as I go over things that I liked, the things I didn't like, my favorite and least favorite parts of the season, ranking every single character, the storylines that hit hard, the jokes that made me lose it, and yeah, I'll even be ranking every single elimination, from most tragic to the most satisfying dock of shame walk-offs of the season. Who will survive my critique? Which characters will rise, and which episodes will sink? Who do I dislike the most? And what are my thoughts of Total Drama Island as a whole? Well, grab those snacks, sit your butt down, and kick back and find out right here, right now, because this is episode 1 of Cartoons of My Childhood, and we're starting with Total Drama Island!
Mom and Dad, I'm doing fine. You guys are on my mind. You asked me what I wanted to be, and now I think the answer is plain to see. I wanna be famous. I wanna live close to the sun. Oh, pack your bags, cause I've already won. Everything to prove, nothing in my way. I'll get there one day. Cause I wanna be
God damn! That's really one of the best theme songs I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, Total Drama Island was a Canadian cartoon by Fresh TV and Elliott Animation. Man, first off, Canada gave us some bangers back in the day. Absolute God-sent cartoons, I can't even lie. Created by the brilliant minds of Tom McGillis and Jennifer Persh, the show premiered in Canada in 2007 and in the US in 2008. Primarily a part of the Cartoon Network's Har Har Thursday lineup, which, in my opinion, is very, very missed. I missed the Har Har Thursdays. From the moment I watched this show, I was absolutely hooked. Shout out to Harold.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Every aspect of this show had me hooked. The Flash animation to me was something I hadn't seen as a kid outside of the baby shows, so to see it in a more mature kids cartoon was very different. That had me hooked. The story was great. The little stories throughout the season and the big overall story, and the anticipation of which character was going to be eliminated each and every episode, knowing one of these days your favorites could go and that person is gone. And it was just great. A great way to keep kids coming back week to week. The music, despite the fact that it was the same, 10 songs, same 10 little tracks and loops, it was perfectly cartoonishly dramatic, so I enjoyed it. And the challenges were entertaining as hell. Every single challenge hit. There were no flops. There were no misses when it came to any of the challenges in season 1 of Total Drama. But none of that, and I mean none of that, can work without awesome characters.
See, dating's like feeding a bunny. You want the bunny to come to you so you don't make any sudden moves. Here, bunny, bunny, bunny. You drop a heart-shaped handmade clay ball on a bunny, and the bunny's gonna run, man. You feeling me?
So I messed up.
You messed up, dude.
The characters and the way they're written on Total Drama Island make the entire show. We've seen in later seasons, specifically with Pocket 2 Island, what a bad cast can do, where no one can remember any more than 4 or 5 characters, which is very bad. Or, in the case of Total Drama All-Stars, what bad character writing can do to a season, to where you completely derail half of your cast. So, it can completely bomb the season. Thankfully, however, Total Drama Island doesn't have that problem. I'd say every character serves their purpose pretty well, and every character gets their time to shine if they were intended to get their time to shine. And even Ezekiel got his little moment at the end of the season. On one note, you have one-note characters like Justin, Ezekiel, Katie, Sadie. They don't stick around for too long. Each character is a stereotype of a typical teen, or in some cases, based off fictional characters like my Harold. Show him some love!
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Every character is so different and unique. Every character stands out in their own way. Some of my personal favorites are DJ, Duncan, Heather, even though I hate her lying hoe ass, Courtney, Jeff, and most importantly, my Harold.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
All the character interactions were great. From the relationships on the show that felt supernatural and organic, the bonds of characters growing as the season goes on, the chemistry they all developed by the final 10 contestants especially are incredible. Everybody, except for that bitch Heather, feels like legitimate friends instead of random teens being forced to be in the same place like they felt on episode 1. Most importantly, we gotta talk about my boy, Chris McClain. Chris here, compared to how he gets by All Stars, is a totally tame version of the crazy dude that we will see in the later years. Way more calm, relaxed, more considerate, if anything, of his contestants' feelings. Basically, he's just not as crazy as he will eventually get and people grow tired of. Now, don't get me wrong, he still definitely had his moments of pissing people off for absolutely no reason.
I promise surprises. Habanero pepper sauce? Anyone?
What the heck, Chris? Whoa! Ow!
Muy caliente.
Is that the best you can do?
Is that the best we can do?
Is that the best we can do? Oh my lord. Besides from that being absolutely hilarious, I can't think of a single reason why Chris had to do this. Like, who the fuck does that? They were already dealing with explosions coming from the fucking mountains, rusty nails, and oil. Chris is just like, you know what? I'm just gonna spray you with some hot pepper sauce. Who cares? Regardless, Chris is my low-key MVP of the season because besides the contestants who make it all the way to the finale, being Owen and Gwen, he's the one we're going to see / hear the most. So it is critical that he was good and a likable character and they nailed Chris. And even if he wasn't likable, he had to be tolerable for the whole season. So it's really, really good that they got him right. His delivery is flawless. His jokes are some of the funniest in the show, and his reactions sometimes absolutely kill me. Like, his reactions genuinely make some of the jokes.
You said no one is allowed back.
I did.
And once you leave,
And once you leave on the dock of shame, on the boat of losers, you can never, ever come back. Oh yeah, that. Yeah. I lied.
Honestly, every character has their moments, and I love all of them. It's really hard for me to truly dislike any character here. Izzy, you're cutting it pretty close, I'm not going to lie. From my mindset as a kid up until now, most of them didn't change, and that definitely is the thing for Izzy. I still can't stand her. But, as a kid, I thought Duncan was the coolest character, and he still is. Absolutely love Owen, despite the fact that my tolerance for fart jokes has completely fallen off a goddamn cliff since I was a kid, but some of his fart jokes still work. Some. Not all. That nasty fat bastard cannot make me laugh every single fart joke. I absolutely hated Heather as a kid, and I wanted her gone every chance we got. But, after rewatching it, I love to hate Heather. She's cunning, she's chaotic, she's conniving, but god damn is she entertaining. There's definitely Been a few times where she should have been voted off, but I'll go over her elimination luck later. But damn, boy, Heather was entertaining. I still like pretty much everyone I liked as a kid, so I still wouldn't spend 5 minutes around Izzy's annoying crazy ass. She is too fucking crazy. And it somehow gets worse in the later seasons, and I could not do it. I'd hate to be around her. She would piss me the fuck off. I could see why Alejandro in World Tour was just so fed up with her. But that's a different story for a different day, possibly a different video in the future. But, speaking of story...
It's our first challenge. How hard can it be? Oh,
Now that we've talked about the characters, let's talk about the story and all the shit that they went through. 22 contestants and somebody gets voted off every episode, except near the end when there's a few exceptions. I feel like between Island, Action, and World Tour, which in my opinion is the golden age of total drama, Island has the most natural story, but the second best storytelling overall. World Tour edges it out just by a little bit, and let me explain why. There's a lot of moments in Island that truly didn't make sense, or some stuff that me personally I would change. There were at least 5 moments, where Heather should have been out of here, booted off the fucking island, take a hike, bitch. But I do understand why you don't want to vote the season villain out early, or out at all really until the end. And in universe, you can explain it as the executives like rigged it for her, kept her alive because she kept the drama in total drama. She kept it interesting. But, dude, come on. Come on, really? Here are the 5 examples that I think of off the top of my head every single time with no hesitation, where her ass probably could have been and should have been gone. The talent show episode. There's no way she convinced that many people to vote Justin off. You could argue that people didn't really know that she was such a lying bitch, but dude, seriously, after what she just pulled, is she really gonna get anybody on her side? Really? The cooking episode, where she was the head chef. Vote off Heather, and then if the Screaming Gophers lose again, they can vote off Beth, because I know they were all scared by the fucking little thing that she took from Boney Island. But there's your solution right there. The hunting episode, where Cody got voted off, I thought Heather was cooked. I thought she was done for. I know that Cody was hurt and all, and they said he wasn't really useful in challenges anymore, but dude, come on. Sadie wasn't useful in challenges anymore, and she was still there. And be real, how often do major injuries last on that show? And if you want to talk about people who aren't useful in challenges, Trent is so background character. Jesus Christ. But anyway, back to the main point. How often do injuries last on the show? Broken bones heal within a few days. Trent literally fell from the sky, not like 20 feet in the air, 15, the literal sky, hundreds upon hundreds, thousands of feet in the air, and he was ready to go the next episode. Trent again got life-threatening food poisoning to where his face turned blue and he was vomiting uncontrollably, and there was no antidote, and he came back like it was nothing. Injuries mean nothing in season 1 of Total Drama. You will be right back within the next 22-minute episode, I promise. The scary movie episode where DJ got absolutely screwed over, because despite the fact that he did get scared without the killer actually being there, he technically didn't get caught. He did not get caught. He ran for his life and was never caught. Did he run himself into an L? Sure, you could argue that, but he didn't get caught. And the most offensive case is when Jeff got voted off for being too nice. Are you fucking joking?
Jeff, it's time for you to go, bro.
What? Are you guys all crazy? Jeff is the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, bingo, sister.
As if Heather could defeat Nice.
The power of nice is huge. And we're not worried about you in that department, Gwen.
No sweat, Gwen. Ciao, dudes.
Are we smoking dick over there at Camp Wawanakwa? There's no way that's how Jeff goes out. Absolutely no shot. That's how Jeff goes out. Owen, of all people, even voted for him. Really? Owen talk about some... The power of nice is powerful. What? There's no way. I can understand Duncan. he could still hold a grudge because Jeff maybe or maybe not voted Bridget off. Sure. But Owen? Not a shot. There's no way Duncan, Owen, Heather, and Lashana all thought, God, that Jeff guy. He's too nice. We gotta pack him up. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my Lord. There's just no way. Heather should have been gone. But I'm moving on because I've been on this topic for too long. But back to the actual episodes and stories. Total Drama Island has some of the most iconic episodes in the series. Truly having no bad episodes, unlike the later seasons, or episodes that I feel like were filler, like the Aftermath specials. Or episodes that waste your time. You know, like if you want to say, oh, the Aftermath wasn't filler, you know, it was a waste of time. The only real thing you missed is that Blaney became a contestant and Jeff and Bridget got back together. And I mean, personally, they're fine if you want to learn some backstories of the characters and get more depth, which I like, but they're skippable if you don't care for them. No episode of Island is skippable. That's my case. I can enjoy the Aftermath episodes for what they are, but I can definitely understand why some people wouldn't want to watch them. Total Drama Island doesn't waste your time. They keep the ball rolling, which is a feeling week to week that kids cherish, especially in their show about kicking people off. Imagine being a kid thinking who's gonna go next and then you get an Aftermath special. I'd be pretty upset. I remember being on punishment for some of these episodes of Total Drama, specifically when Beth was eliminated. My brother had to turn the TV up loud enough for me to hear it. I was stressed as hell. And I cannot stress enough how much of a big deal these episodes were as a kid. These week to week eliminations, they were events you had to be seated for. Some of my personal favorite episodes are The Big Sleep, Phobia Factor, Up the Creek, Dodge Brawl, for obvious reasons, Harold.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Shifting focus, let's talk about friendships and relationships. Spicy. As I said earlier, I've always felt like the relationships and friendships this season were all very organic. None were super cheesy, everything felt pretty natural for the most part. Except for that one episode where all the guys bullied the hell out of Harold. But you know what? We all can't go perfect from the field. Some of us are playoffs, some of us are way off. What are you gonna do?
Who can blame them? They can barely stand each other, and meanwhile, us guys are tighter than family. Guys rule! I love you guys! Yeah, baby!
Naturally, as a man, well, a young boy at the time, I felt myself connecting with the boys. The bond they shared on screen made it all the better, especially the bond that the boys on the Killer Bass made. Considering Duncan, DJ, and Jeff made it far into the competition, it gave me more time to bond with them and, you know, just love the bond that they shared because those are some of my favorite characters. Still, don't like what they did to my Harold, but I'll let it slide. You had Lashana pretty much being friends with everybody, Gwen slowly coming around to some of the people on the island. Then Heather just comes around and wedges her way in all those bonds and just gets all those people eliminated. She said, fuck it. Damn, she's good. Not as good as my main man Alejandro, but you know, still good nonetheless. Heather saw the vision of destruction and said, fuck all those friendships and relationships. Hater, Black Air Force energy. I hate all of you. I want my money. Bridget, goodbye. Trent, checkmate. Beth, you want to disobey? You want to try to make some friends? Get out of here, bitch. Speaking of relationships, I'm going to make this very, very quick because in terms of relationships and romances, all of them peaked in season 1. So I'm going to keep this very, very brief. I love how naturally the Duncan and Courtney relationship came. It didn't feel forced. It was a nice surprise to me because you wouldn't expect those two. And honestly, we all know it peaked here. Seeing them slowly grow closer together over the course of the season, just for Courtney to get voted off right as they became official, was such a heartburn to me. Like, as a kid, I was like, okay, I understand why Harold did he did what he did. He was never going to directly confront Duncan, but messing with his favorite person on the island, that's a pretty good way to do it. But on the other hand, other people really wanted to see this relationship blossom for the rest of the season. But you know what? I can't even hate on it. Because you know why? That's what happens when you mess with my nigga Harold. Fuck that bullying shit, Duncan. Harold said you thought this shit was sweet. Now your bitch off the island. Ah!
Dude, that was not cool.
Okay, this show isn't perfect. Nothing ever is, and I'm tired of acting like it was, even though I've already pointed out some flaws earlier. But here are just some things I don't like. Here's a quick little rant, mainly to end the talking points off of this video, but here's a quick rant of things I don't like. Heather's crazy elimination plot armor. I already went over that earlier. How the hell did Sadie last as long as she did? After Katie got eliminated, she had like 5 lines. Keep in mind, she lasted like 4 more episodes. I would have had her swap places with Tyler. The writers could have used it as an excuse for, oh, I can't do it without Katie, I can't conquer my fears without my best friend, and then she's gone. That's the excuse they could have used to get her out of here. Because she's a background character up until she's eliminated. And Tyler can last 4 more episodes, and Tyler is 100% more times more entertaining. And I would rather have Tyler get eliminated in that episode rather than him get eliminated because he got unfairly kicked out because he couldn't spend a couple of minutes with some chickens, which he was doing, by the way. He was just doing it in fear, rocking back and forth like a baby, but he did accomplish it. So more justice for my boy Tyler. But it's fine because he comes back in World Tour and he's amazing in World Tour. So I guess it's fine enough for now. DJ didn't deserve to go out the way he did, speaking of unfair eliminations. I feel as if we needed more Chef, but we got him more in action, but not in the way I wanted. I'm sure there's some more stuff, but that's all really off the top of my head. Also, totally unrelated hot take. I can 100% understand how Lindsay got eliminated. Listen. So the rules of the last race are, if you don't cross the finish line, there is no elimination ceremony, no bonfire, no marshmallow, none of that. You're gone. You're eliminated.
And one more thing. First one to cross wins invincibility. Last one to cross gets voted off the island. No bonfire, do not pass go, do not collect a marshmallow.
The final 4 racers were Heather, Lindsay, Duncan, and Owen. Duncan and Owen crashed, which disqualified them from the race, in terms making them ineligible to finish as competitors because they don't have bikes. Which means the only eligible competitors were Heather and Lindsay. Lindsay technically now is last because she is the only one of 2 eligible competitors. In the show, Chris explained this in probably the worst way you could have explained it. It was not well explained by Chris at all. That's why I'm here.
That's not exactly true. Heather is safe because her bike crossed the line first, but since Duncan and Owen wiped out and didn't complete the race, they technically didn't cross the line at all, which makes you the last one to cross the line, which means it's Dock of Shame time, baby.
But after some time as a kid, I realized what Chris was saying. He just explained it really bad in the show. But with all that being said, I would have packed Izzy's ass the fuck up out of there. All you didn't do a single fucking race, and you fucked with my girl, Lashana? Eeny, meeny, miny, Izzy. Get the fuck up off the island. Eliminated. Get the hell out of here. Izzy is gone. Here it is, the official ranking of every single character. Now, I need everyone to keep in mind, I am only ranking them off their season 1 selves. This is not them throughout the 7 seasons of Total Drama. This is not them throughout Island Action and World Tour. This is just Island, okay? So don't fucking kill me if I put someone lower than they should be, because they haven't had the necessary character development yet. All right, let's do this. Chris McClane. Love that guy. I've talked about it before. One of the best parts of season 1. Honestly, one of the best parts of Total Drama before he lost his fucking mind. Beth, meh. Beth is the most meh character I have ever seen in my life. Bridget. I very much love season 1 Bridget. It is the best Bridget because in this season, she had a character. She was a cool girl. She was just a real competitor. In season 2, she got eliminated in the first episode because she couldn't stop throating Jeff. And then in season 3, she tried throating Alejandro and got voted off. So that's what you get. Chef Hatchet. Easy. Cody. Dislike. I know. I like Cody myself. I do. But he was a fucking creep in season 1. And let's not forget that. Did he have his moments of being a cool guy? Yes. Was it ever to actually be a good person? No. It was only to advance his desires to get Gwen's bra or get a girl. It was never just pure. I think the only time he did anything good, pure, whatever, out of his good heart was to save Trent. And that was it. DJ, best DJ, season 1 DJ. Eva, I don't care for you, Eva. I don't care for you at all. Ezekiel, I don't care for you either. It's sad what happened to you, but I don't care for you in this season. Jeff, love him. Harold, fucking love him. Heather, fucking love to hate her. Oof, man. I hated her so bad as a kid. As a kid, if you asked me, I would have leveled her. I would have rocked her ass. As an adult, I can understand the value of a good villain. Izzy, can't fucking stand you. Get down there. And you get worse over time. And that's what's crazy. You get worse over time. You get more crazy, you get more annoying. I can see why Alejandro was so fed up with your shit in season 3, but whatever. Justin, you were meh the first season. Season 2, you were way more likable, but meh. Katie, don't care. Sadie, since you're literally just her but fat and white, go right next to her. Lindsay, absolutely adore you, Lindsay. Mr. Coconut! I know he's a fan favorite. We all love Mr. Coconut. We all do. Noah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not like Noah in season 1 as a kid. Obviously, I grew to love him in World Tour. That's why I put him, I think, in the B tier of my Total Drama tier list video of like characters over a few years ago. But whatever. Owen, absolutely love you, man. Whoops. Absolutely love you, man. I don't know why my instincts went to like. Courtney, I like you so much. I don't think you were given a fair hand, but that's what happens when you fuck with my boy Harold. Well, actually, Duncan did, but don't fuck with my boy Harold.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Duncan, right next to Harold in the love tier. Gwen, right up there. We love you. Lashana, we love you. Get up there. Trent, okay, listen. Here's the thing about Trent. To me, was just okay. That is it. He was very much there to just be for Gwen, because I can't think of anything else he did other than be for Gwen. Can you genuinely tell me a single Trent moment or thing that didn't involve Gwen? Like, yeah, he was like a bro's bro, and he was in the background, and he was just a normal guy. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying, oh, he needs to have a personality, that's why I don't like him. No. Everyone in life just needs a guy who's chill, in the background, and that's what Trent is. When he's not focused on Gwen, he's just in the background. And sometimes you low-key forget he's there. They had multiple episodes where they just wrote him out of the challenges whenever he didn't have anything to do with Gwen. Or whenever he was doing something with Gwen that caused him to get hurt. They just wrote him out of the challenges. And you know what? Credit to him. Like I said, he's meh, but I like him. You're top of meh. He's meh, but he's not like a throwaway meh. I like Trent. Let's just leave it at that. But he's meh. I couldn't really care less. Whatever. And Tyler. I like season 1 Tyler. Season 1 Tyler is a hilarious motherfucker. Season 3 Tyler is even more of a hilarious motherfucker. This dude, I'm mad. I am so pissed he was the 5th one eliminated. As a kid, I saw no way they eliminated Tyler. And then World Tour redeemed everything, so it's totally fine. It's totally cool. But yeah, that's the season 1 ranking, so yeah, I guess that's that. We're now at the point where I have to rank every single episode from what I think is worst to best. And this is probably the hard one to do. Can I make this pop-up ad go the fuck away? We are at the point where I have to rank every single episode from worst to best, which is probably going to be the hardest thing. But let's get into it. Not So Happy Campers Part 1. This was a good introduction episode. This is probably as good as an episode as you can get when you have to introduce 22 people. And 23 if you include Chris. 24 if you include Chef. So 24 characters had to be introduced in this one episode. And you know what? They did a pretty good job. That's all I got to say about that. Pretty good introductory episode. You got a good feel of everyone's personalities early on, and boom. Not So Happy Campers Part 2. It is better than Part 1 because it's our first actual challenge, And it's the episode where everybody has to jump off the 100 something, whatever, an unjumpable cliff dive. You will die jumping from that height, by the way, or be severely injured. So, pretty good episode overall. Ezekiel gets eliminated for being a sexist piece of shit. So, you know what? All well that ends well. The Big Sleep. Probably, it is definitely better than Not So Happy Campers Part 1 and 2, and definitely a really good episode. I don't know what is taking this out from the most awesome ones, but that's the episode where you had Heather officially form her alliance with Lindsay and Beth. It's where Trent and Gwen actually start becoming Trent and Gwen because they talk all night, all day for those, 50 plus hours they were awake. They talked about movies, they talked about music, they're like looking up at the stars and shit. Really good relationship developing episode for a lot of them. It has a lot of funny scenes in there too. Justin, now this is the most impressive part. He painted his eyelids to make it seem like he was awake, but he was sleeping the entire time. But he was standing straight up with his hands on his hips. That is the most impressive feat of anything I have ever seen. Credit to him for literally standing and sleeping while keeping your hands on your hips. I gotta respect it, but whatever. Dodge Brawl, my favorite episode. It is the awesome one. Spoiler alert, it's not moving, but to me, it's the most iconic episode of season 1. If you think about great total drama episodes, people who watched it as a kid, people who loosely remember it nowadays, and people who are like hardcore fans, everybody will say this dodgeball episode, or at least a majority of the people will be like, yeah, the dodgeball episode. Woo. This is the episode where Harold finally had his big moment after sitting in the background the entire time. It's the relationship starter with Duncan and Courtney, even though it didn't really start like, oh, I like you. It was more just like, oh, and why should I help you, darling? And Courtney goes, because if we lose this challenge, I can guarantee you'll be the one going home, darling. And boom, Duncan had to wake up and lock in. Amazing episode. Owen was on a tear. Cody has a ball that can go around 180 and chase people with lightning. Harold, my boy Harold, had his moment to shine.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
It was fantastic. By far my favorite episode. Not quite famous. It was an okay episode. I don't like, first off, let me just say I don't dislike any of these episodes. It had Harold having his moment to shine with the beatboxing, saving the day for the second straight challenge, by the way. I don't see how you do this back to back and think, God, keep Harold out of here. We gotta get him. We gotta keep him so we can keep winning challenges, at least until we hit the merger. But in universe, they didn't know there would be a merger, so whatever. This is the episode where Justin gets eliminated because he was too hot. And as I've expressed earlier, one example, or this is one episode where Heather could have been gone. And I think the only argument you can make to where she didn't get the boot is because they didn't know how bad of a person she was. Because in Not So Happy Campers, it was like, okay, cool. She was cool with everybody. Not really. She had an argument with Lashana, but that was probably about it. The Big Sleep, all she did was take Eva's MP3 player, but people didn't know that she did that. They just know she found it. In Dodge Brawl, she was actually trying to lead the team and be a captain. So, and that was it. So you could argue that she survived purely because they didn't really know the intentions that she had or how much of a horrible person she was. So, okay episode, not quite famous. Justin, sorry. The Sucky Outdoors. This is a really good episode. I've seen a lot of people call this episode mid. It's a really good episode, in my opinion. In this episode, you have the Screaming Gophers, who just, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was more bass heavy. I remember more bass heavy stuff in terms of important stuff. Because Gophers, you know, they were just like arguing and complaining about the environment and stuff like that. But Killer Bass, you had Duncan scaring everybody with the story. You had Katie and Sadie, which was a big subplot for the entire episode. The Screaming Gophers, yeah, they had the plot where they were hiding in the tree and Izzy pretended to be like, you know, a bear, and then a real bear came. And then they all had to sleep in the tree for the night, and it was raining. And then the Bath had to sleep under DJ holding a leaf because Bridget burnt down their tent because she got frightened by a bat and Ricochet, and, you know, what can't go wrong will go wrong. And you know, they gave Owen a lot of shit in this episode for not being able to take a bear down, but not being like a real bear hunter, because Owen, he lied about it. But the thing is, what do you want Owen to do with his bare hands against a bear? Heather talking about why don't we ask the bear expert? And then Lashana goes, dude, you killed a bear. Yeah, with a gun? The hell is he gonna do with his hands against a bear? James Ellsworth here. Any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance. Hell nah. Since y'all think y'all are so tough, go take that bear down. I want you to try. It's just crazy to me that they threw Owen under the bus like that, but yeah. Episode where Katie's gone. Good. Gotta get him out of here. Phobia Factor. Better. Is it better than the Sucky Outdoors? I think so. It develops a lot of relationships and everybody faces their fears. Some of the more memorable ones. Tyler. He had to spend X amount of minutes in the chicken coop. He was doing it, but cowering in fear doing it. And they weren't counting it. I don't know why. They never said he couldn't be afraid facing his fears. He was doing it. Duncan was afraid of Celine Dion, music store standees. He conquered that through the motivation of Courtney. Fucking Lindsay and Sadie were afraid of bad haircuts. God, what a weird fear. But I can understand because Lindsay was seen as the gorgeous one, the beautiful one. Cody was afraid of detonating a bomb. Trent was afraid of mines. Jeff was afraid of hail. Courtney was afraid of green jelly of all things. Okay. DJ was afraid of snakes. Owen and Izzy were afraid of flying. Heather was afraid of sumo wrestlers. Gwen was afraid of getting buried alive. Beth was afraid of bugs, but then jumped right into that kiddie pool of worms. I think she cheated and straight up lied about her fear because she didn't seem scared at all, or she got a freebie because if you're afraid of bugs, I'm not going to put you in a kiddie pool of worms. I'm going to put you in a kiddie pool of like cockroaches and beetles and ladybugs and stuff like that. Harold said he was afraid of ninjas, but he was about to whoop their ass with those nunchucks, but whatever. Tyler was eliminated. A lot of relationships developed in this episode, and it was just a pretty good episode, honestly. Trent left Gwen buried alive, and now she's mad at Trent for the next episode or two. Up the Creek, this is an okay episode. You know, it was okay. I forgot how far along in the season this was because when I was looking for footage of Justin being eliminated or something, or someone specifically, I forgot this was 8 episodes in. I don't know why I thought it was around 4 episodes, because I know for a fact Justin is always eliminated 4th. I can remember the elimination order, but oh man, it was just an okay episode. Like I said, forgot it was so far into the season. This is the episode where Gwen and Trent advance the relationship a little bit more. Cody helps out Gwen and Trent by having them go back on the same canoe. DJ helps Jeff with Bridget. A lot of people took a sideline in this episode, but it was fine. Like, a lot of people who were typically main players later took the backside in this episode, which is totally fair. Duncan didn't speak a lot. Lashana dealt with Izzy a lot, but she didn't really speak a lot. Owen didn't really speak a lot besides that first line and, you know, making a fart joke. So there was that. But yeah, this is the episode where Izzy thankfully leaves for, let's see here. This is the episode where Izzy leaves for at least 5 episodes. Paintball Deer Hunter. This is an okay episode, but it's at the top of okay. It's better than Not Quite Famous. It's better than Up the Creek. Owen, a lot of fart jokes in this episode. DJ, very athletic man. We figured that out in this episode. Relationship advancers, Duncan and Courtney. You don't really get a lot from Gwen, Trent, or a lot of the other Screaming Gophers. This is the episode where Beth finally stands up for herself to Heather because she's sick of losing challenges because she feels as if Heather isn't even trying. So Beth is like, you know what? I'm going to go out and try, and I'm going to actually go out and win this challenge. That was the big takeaway from this episode. She's starting her little stand-up arc to Heather, which isn't really much of an arc. She's gone next episode, but yeah. Cody gets destroyed by a bear, and that's it. That's the end of that episode. Cody gets voted off. Beth has the voodoo tiki doll that she took from Boney Island, which is apparently causing them to lose a lot. So if you can't take the heat, I love this episode. I absolutely love this episode. The only part I don't like, which unfortunately takes up a lot of the runtime, is the boys and Jeff and DJ being very out of character, I think, bullying Harold. If you take that away, though, it has a lot of funny jokes. It has Beth and Lindsay standing up to Heather. It has Trent getting absolutely decapitated by a crate of oranges by Owen. So, I think it's just a very funny episode. And this is the moment of the season where it was like, okay, we're starting to see less and less people here. I don't know, first off, I don't know how Sadie is still here at this point. She is such a background character. She does nothing for anyone, and she doesn't even talk at this point. You know what? The top of the good. At the top of the good. I'm sorry. I thought I loved it, but the more I talked about it, the more I was like, maybe there are some things wrong with this episode. Beth is eliminated. This is one where Beth could have been gone. She could have been gone in the Paintball Deer Hunter episode too. I forgot to bring that up, where Heather could have been absolutely out of here. So, who can you trust? It was the episode where Sadie was eliminated, so it is instantly a good episode. Not better than The Big Sleep or any of those other episodes, but it's up there. So this is the episode. It develops, Heather and Gwen's rivalry. It develops Jeff and Bridget's relationship. DJ has a pet bunny that gets eaten by a goddamn snake, and then gets eaten by a taken by a eagle, and then eaten by a shark. So that bunny is 100% gone forever. So DJ is down for the entire episode, morale-wise. And then Duncan gets a new bunny, the same bunny with like one ear, by the way. Both bunnies had one ear. Shock. And then DJ locks in, Jeff locks in. And they thought they win the challenge, but it was a blindfold challenge. So they lost because DJ took off his blindfold. And then Sadie got eliminated. So God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Basic straining. We all know why this is one of the best episodes of the entire season. Duncan and Courtney finally kissed, but Harold said, "Swerve, motherfucker. Get that bitch off the island." You know what, Duncan? Bye-bye. You wanna fuck with me? I'm Harold. I manipulate the votes.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Had some of the best character interactions of the entire season. Chef finally takes lead on a challenge. It only took them half the damn season to do it, but he finally takes lead in the challenge. We get more Chef. We get to see more of his personality because of his military background. The challenges were great. The first one where you have to hold up the canoe, and then Chef and Chris are just magically on top of the canoe. Hell no, absolutely not. Then they have the obstacle course, which takes up a lot of the time. Then they have the writing challenge, where they have to write like 1,000-something words or something. And then the upside down challenge at the end and everything. And dude, it was just a great episode. We saw Courtney's wild side. We saw more of Duncan's caring side as well. We saw everybody like bonding throughout like eating the food, because they nabbed the food from the Chef and Chris refrigerator. Oh, dude, it was amazing. Genuinely, it was a great episode. Second best episode of the entire season. Extreme torture. I don't remember much about this episode, but I rewatched it for the sake of this tier list, and I still don't remember much about this episode. I'm sorry, but it's okay. I think if I don't remember much about it, I can't really. I just don't remember much about it. I watched all of these before I did this. Just don't remember much about it. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Brunch of disgustingness. Depending on your tolerance for disgusting foods and vomit, this episode could either be really, really good or really, really bad. But I love the character interactions in this episode. And I have a pretty strong stomach with because it's a cartoon, y'all, at the end of the day. Come on, y'all. Like, it's whatever. So, I thought it was just good. And that's that. And this is the episode as a kid where I thought to myself, oh, this shit's getting real now. Because it had that scene at the end of the episode where they've never shaded the fucking show like this before. Like, they drew a sunset and everything. Chris was, narrating And he goes, both teams go their separate ways. The boys go off, enjoy their weekend, and the girls divide and whatever. And, like, the way he phrased it, it was so dramatic to me as a kid. And then Chris was like, what's in store for our campers as we head for the big merge? And as a kid, I was like, whoa, 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 what's the big merge? What's the big merge? Find out next time on Total Drama Island. And Jeff is looking off like, oh, man, I miss my girl Bridge. And they're driving off on the boat. And I'm like, dude, this shit's getting real. Like, we're getting the meat and the potatoes of this season now. Like, it's about to get real. I thought genuinely this is the moment. This is the episode where I was thinking it is about to turn the fuck up. And I was enjoying every second of it. Even rewatching it now, there's something about that scene, the way they made it. It's so impactful. I can't describe it, but man, I love it. No pain, no gain. This is an okay episode because it brought back Izzy and it brought back Eva for one episode to take an L because they just couldn't eliminate anyone else. They brought back Izzy, so boo. It's okay, man. It's just the campers getting tortured for 22 minutes, so search and do not destroy. This is the episode that eliminated Trent in probably one of the most dastardly ways possible. Heather, that conniving, backstabbing bitch. It was good. It was really good. But you know what? Ooh, man. Just as they made it official because she helped, or Trent helped Gwen with her thing and they kissed and made it official. And then, boom. Heather said, fuck that shit. And Trent and Gwen actually had a really emotional goodbye. Because at the moment you didn't think you'd be seeing these characters again. Watching week by week, you thought they're gone. With the exception of Izzy and Eva, we have not seen any of these characters since they have been eliminated. They are gone. And this was before streaming. This was before people just upload everything to YouTube. It was, you're done. Your favorite character is gone. So if you were invested in these two, goodbye. It was no more. It was just really emotional. And mainly because all of Trent's screen time is spent either being one of the dudes, which is probably like 5% of his screen time, or it's just spent with Gwen and developing that relationship. So whether you cared for it or not, you low-key felt that when Trent left. You low-key felt the pain and Trent trying to keep a smile on his girl's face, like, dude, smile, Gwen, it'll be okay. And Gwen trying to smile, but the moment Trent goes like way off out of the distance, she cries. And I'm like, oh, Gwen, it'll be okay. Don't cry. Oh, man. I think Trent is as background as a background character can get by getting it this far. Out of everyone that got it this far, I don't count Izzy. He is the most background-ass character. I know Bridget's still here, but I think genuinely she did more than Trent. I don't know. They're both pretty background. But anyway, hide and be sneaky. Like I was just saying, Bridget made it this far. I don't know how I've managed to disrespect Trent for being background, but not so much Bridget. But I like this episode. It's okay. It is okay. Like I said, it's the one where Bridget left. Lashana finally gets her due. She's finally like, yeah, I'm that bitch. So, not much to say about this episode. I just like it. So, pretty okay. The infamous. That's off the chain. This is an okay episode. Better than all of these. It's the one where Lindsay gets eliminated, y'all. That's it. It's the one where Lindsay gets eliminated, and I like it personally. Hook, line, and screamer. One of the best in the season. One of the funniest in the season. One where DJ did not deserve to go out the way he did. Everyone was getting scared shitless, but DJ didn't get caught. Wawanakwa gone wild. This is a really good episode in my opinion. Honestly, one of the funniest ones. You have Duncan trying to play mind games with Heather. Everyone trying and struggling to capture their animals is pure comedy. Gwen gets her dinner of all her favorite foods and Owen just comes through and fucks that shit all the way up. If I'm Gwen, I'm picking Shut Up off the ground and I'm eating it. Trial by Tri-Armed Triathlon. I love this episode. Duncan and Lashana were pure comedy the entire way because they were fighting about who's basically going to take charge. Heather is like, hey, I'm taking charge, Owen, but you're doing everything. You're eating, you're carrying me, you're doing this, you're doing that. And in the end, Owen got fed up of her shit because she was talking shit about Izzy. And Owen said, fuck it, where's the whip key? And then you have Jeff and Gwen, opposites attracting, and then Jeff is gone because he's too nice. Owen does one of the most out of character things by going, yeah, what can we do against that niceness? He's gotta go, Gwen. What? It was crazy. I've already went over it earlier, so I'm not gonna go over it again, but it was crazy. And it was genuinely one of the more emotional goodbyes. Every time I see this goodbye between Gwen and Jeff, I'm like, oh, dude. It was so sad. It was like bittersweet because they just bonded, and Gwen's like, wait, Jeff, wait. I got your camera. And Jeff is like, oh, sweet. And then Gwen was like, it has some Lake Wabanaki in it because she threw it in the water while they were on Boney Island because Jeff wasn't taking a challenge seriously. And Gwen was like, yeah, I'm sorry. At least it'll, at least it still works. And Jeff goes, yeah, man, it just makes for a better souvenir. Gwen says goodbye. Jeff is like, wait, hold up. Say cheese. And then they take a picture and then there's water in the camera. And oh my God. This is what I miss from the later seasons of the classic cast, from Total Drama Action, World Tour, All-Stars, and if you want to count Revenge of the Island as a classic cast. I don't, but whatever. You don't have these moments. Like these moments of friends saying goodbye. In Action, it felt like everyone just downright disrespected each other. No one was really friends. They all just tolerated each other for the sake of the game. World Tour, it felt like every elimination was based off hatred. Hatred and I don't want you around, but this Island had some genuinely emotional eliminations, and this is one of them. It was such a great season, bro. Island truly was the peak. If you think World Tour is the peak, cool, but Island is truly the peak. Hot camp torture, camp shirt, whatever. You are mad. Okay, let's be nice. Nah, you were mad. It was nice seeing everybody get from the eliminations be here. It's nice to know they're all just here chilling. But the way they did my girl Lashana, absolutely insane. I genuinely feel like they could have just written a challenge and had her get eliminated that way. But you could argue after the bonding that Duncan and Lashana did, Gwen and Lashana being friends and Owen being Owen, they were never going to vote off Lashana, and Heather was a goner. So it's not the only way they could have written her out, but realistically, they were probably like, dude, we gotta write her out, because bullshit the way they got rid of Jeff. And I don't think they could have written two really bad endings. Because like I said, Owen, Gwen, and Duncan would not vote for Lashana. Heather is a goner. Heather is a goner. That is a 4v1 vote. So, writers did what writers had to do. Camp Castaways. One of the funnier episodes. One of the good episodes, in my opinion. Is it better than The Sucky Outdoors? I'm not sure. I really like The Sucky Outdoors. Really like it. To this day, there are people still speculating what they all admitted to in that little treehouse that Owen built. You will never know. Are we there, Yeti? Amazing episode, and I can't believe this is how Duncan went out over some goddamn cinnamon buns. Can't stand it. He played the game well, man. He played the game well. You knew he had to lose over some bullshit. All the Jeff, Duncan, Lashana all lost over some bullshit. It's terrible out here, man. I triple dog dare you. Oh yeah. One of the best ones of the season. Heather finally got her comeuppance. She was doing every single challenge imaginable because Owen had so many freebies because Owen's a freak of nature. Gwen, I don't know where her freebies are, but whatever. But Owen and Gwen were like, hey, we're just going to torture Heather until we're out of freebies. And Heather got her head shaved because Lindsay is a baller. And Chris's I'm not even going to try to do it justice, but Chris's dramatic build-up to the final two, it had me cheering as a kid. Like, when I heard Chris go, and then there were two, I started clapping. I was like, yes, we're finally at the final two, and I was begging for Owen to win. Owen wins. It was a really, really good episode, but not one of the best. But my boy Owen won. I'm in America, by the way, when I'm a kid, so I witnessed the Owen ending and not the Gwen ending. Owen wins, total drama. It was a great finale. I enjoyed it. I thought the challenges were just a tad bit underwhelming. I feel like they really could have done more. I don't know what more they could have done, but I just felt like they climbed a flagpole, they came down a flagpole, walked over a bridge with piranhas, and then it was just a haul to the finish line. I feel like they really could have done more. And I remember being a kid, right before they came back from the final commercial, I don't know if they revealed the winner, but there was a little commercial that they ran where it was like, vote for who you think is going to win Total Drama Island, or vote for who you want to win Total Drama Island. And it was like 60-40 in Owen's favor. And then it was like, Owen wins Total Drama Island. Congratulations, Owen. And then it just cut right back to the show, and I was like, did they just... did they just reveal the winner? And I didn't know. Was that the fan voting for the winner, or was it the fan opinion for the winner? I don't know, man. I genuinely... either way, as a kid, I'm like, did they just spoil the winner? And then 5 minutes later, Owen wins. I was like, Am I crazy? I don't know. Total drama island. It's just okay. And just like that, this tier list is done. This took 31 minutes and 15 seconds. This is my official from worst to best episodes. Camp Torture is 27. And then you got 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easy. So that's it. That's the video. I know I said at the beginning that I was going to rank the eliminations from worst to best, but for the life of me, I could not figure out how to do that. I could not figure out what I meant by worst to best. Did I mean like the worst as in the most forgettable at the bottom, or the worst as in the least amount of impact as the bottom? Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, because instantly I already knew Heather was going to be #1 best elimination, but like trying to rank the rest of them, I don't know. I couldn't really figure out a way how to do that. I'm sorry. And there's a lot of things that I know I grazed over. I really only talked about Duncan and Courtney's relationship. That's the only one I care about. Like I said, Trent and Gwen, they were Trent and Gwen. Cool. Lindsay and Tyler, they were done after about 5 episodes. Izzy and Owen, I don't really like Izzy, but I think their relationship is pretty cute. And then there are some other things that people maybe think I should have talked about, like the censorship of the show from Canada to America. But that's less of a show critique and more of a network problem, if you get what I'm trying to say. Because the show didn't intend to have all these censors, and the show didn't intend to be censored so heavily in America. They made the show the way they did, and American networks were like, hey man, you can't say crap, you can't say sucks, you can't do all this stuff. You can say boobies 4 times, but the one time Lashana asked, whose boobies did you see? That's the one time you have to put the word chest. But you can say boobies before, and Heather can say boobs after. I don't get it.
Farewell, Total Drama Island. I loved, I lost, and I saw boobies. What more can a man ask for?
You loved? You're a man? You saw boobies?
Wait a sec. So, Harold saw your chest?
Can we see?
Heck no! Wait a minute. Whose chest did you see? Oh, please. It was a total fluke. You think I'd actually show that dweeb my boobs on purpose?
Overall, it's just one of the most memorable cartoons of my childhood. It holds such a special place in my heart. I rewatch the series at least once a year. Whenever I just sit around and don't want to watch sports or anime or whatever fucking things streaming on Max and all that other stuff, I just turn on Total Drama, Action Island and World Tour, and I'm just Oh man, I get taken back to a place I wish I could go back to, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It is one of the most memorable cartoons of my childhood. One of my favorites before the fall off. Like I said, Island Action World Tour was the golden age of total drama. And if you've made it this far, I'm shocked. I don't know what this video is going to look like, but if you have made it this far, I hope you enjoy it. Comment some stuff you like about total drama, or comment cartoons that you want me to do in the future. I already have about 5 cartoons. I already know what 5 I'm going to do. What order? I don't know. But you'll find out when you find out. So, hey man, hug somebody, love somebody, stay blessed. I'll see y'all in the next video.